Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Chat Manitors, for your help. I appreciate it. Hi, Patricia Epperson, Glorious E, Gracie, Lorado, Shirenzi. I hope you're all ready for the weekend. And those of you who are still doing the corporate thing, the weekend is here. Having said that, I don't know, I'm sure you guys probably saw it, that China and Russia, and they, to me, intuitively, that's my way of putting it. According to reports, they are talking, and it seems like they are basically trying to find a way to unite and go against Trump. Do you guys remember I told you Canada, Mexico, Europe, they will link arm. They've linked arms already, because Trump is so unpredictable. It's spreading, and intuitively I feel. Happy Friday, Stephanie. Yes, I'm not seeing us stepping into the war because there are too many unknowns. But the threat, unconditional love tarot of Russia and China, well, basically it's Putin and Xi. It feels like to me Xi initiated this and is pushing Putin as well, because they sense arrogance and ignorance on Trump's side, and they want to see if he's capable of standing up. But my friends, they know everything that's going on in this country because we live in an open society. And Trump has a weak hand. They watched what happened last week, the fruitcake birthday, failure. Over 6 million people protested against him. That's a sign of major weakness. The activities he's conducting on our soil, ICE, CBP, DHS, you name it. Those guys are expert, but Putin knows what he's doing too. He's been helping Orban to educate Fruitcake on what to do and how to use the template that they've used in Hungary and in Russia to transform this country. Putin doesn't care. All he wants is to destabilize the country. And let me tell you, and Putin and Xi's calculation, they are succeeding. Because, and I'll tell you, I've been saying this for a while, Fruitcake is trying to assemble, for the most part, it's brown people they are after, racial profiling and everything. That's creating, that has the potential to create blowback and get a lot of people angry, brown people. Another example, African Americans. The latest example, I'm sure you guys heard what he said about Juneteenth. Yesterday, last evening or something, or yesterday morning. I didn't look at the date. I thought it was so stupid. He's stoking race wars Trump that is, she and Putin are laughing. Okay? You know, intuitively what I feel, there's a potential for something terrible to happen. The ICE people, I hope this doesn't happen. They're going to stop a bunch of brown-looking people, and because they are brown, they think they are the usually soft immigrants who are here looking for a job. And they're going to stumble on a whole bunch of well-armed people. And it's not because those guys are trying to do anything illegal. They live in states, places where they are allowed to carry. And all hell is going to break loose. I've been getting this since yesterday. Major disaster. The other thing is, African Americans have not responded to Trump's ignorant and ham and egg shit, the way they are basically trying to erase everything all the contribution African Americans have made to this society. It's a matter of time. Right now, their hands are full with migrants. But we will be next. I don't think they're going to get to us intuitively. But similar things will happen at them stopping a group of people. Okay? They don't know. Why are you stopping me? What did I do? And those guys are approaching people's cars and stuff like that, wearing a mask and long rifle, and things go south. I'm not seeing the African American firefight come to fruition yet. I'm not quite sure exactly how it's going to happen, but the one with migrants, people are going to stop thinking they're migrants. My prediction is it's coming. I hope it doesn't happen. But Xi and Putin, they're watching those things, and they are waiting for them to happen. And they are waiting for, do you guys remember when that guy Robert said, it won't be bloody if everyone goes, if everyone goes along nicely. Otherwise, we will see the alternative. That's what, actually is getting the military the best it could, ready, okay? Fruitcake is doing the best it can to stoke the anger, thinking they're going to win. And I don't see this happening yet. I'm telling you intuitively when I focus on them what they are trying to do. The only thing I feel is coming is that they're going to stop a group of people because they are brown. I hope it doesn't happen. But Fruitcake, he thinks that he's going to unleash the military on us. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I mentioned that I predicted he's in for a surprise. Intuitively, I feel this is probably what's going to happen when he thinks he's going to unleash the military on us, because brown people, white people, black people will just explode on him. He thinks he's going to use the military. And they won't be, they're not going to side with him. And intuitively, that's what I feel is coming. Let's hope something happens and they remove him first. But that's what they are dumb enough to think they're going to be able to do it. Because let me tell you, Robert, the guy from Heritage Foundation, I'm not talking about Justice Roberts, okay? He's dead serious. And him going on TV saying that was not a slip of the tongue or anything like that. He was putting all of us on, That's why you guys, I remember when he said that, I told you I was going to buy my own weapons. Because the way you see they going into people's homes, it can happen to any of us. We're not there yet because they're testing how much they can get away with. But I would not be surprised if there is a nasty firefight between DHS, those people with, walking around with masks, and Xi and Putin. They're waiting with bated breath. And then they're just going to say, this is what America is all about. And Xi is going to expand his ambition to lead the world, because who wants to deal with a country that's in a civil war? That's what I feel when I focus on Xi, because he's in obviously, he's in a lot stronger position than Putin. He doesn't want to fight a war with anybody. What he wants to do right now, his hands are full with his economy, his people, and staying in power, and all of that. So, and he doesn't want to get mired on anything. Him cooperating with Putin, okay, is just a threat. And it's basically directed at Trump. This is not going to be a cakewalk. And I wouldn't be surprised if Xi arms, I know Putin is doing it already, but arms Iran. Keep our fingers crossed, but they are watching. And since I started talking about those masks people, that we don't know their identities, do you guys remember I told you a long time ago that Fruitcake and his surrounding, the guy that has a picture of Nixon on his back, that's their liaison among others. He's not the only person in contact with these people. Intuitively, I feel some of them are taking part on those raids. And also, from what I said that yesterday because I read it, and I'm not surprised, they have bounty hunters taking part as well. And those are the type of people. And you know, guys, if you watch, this is scary, how the behavior of those CBP or ICE people, the way they go after the migrants. They have no regard for them, no respect. You know, a long time ago, in the early 70s, when INS, that's how they used to call, I believe it's ICE at that time, I'm not quite sure. Okay, at the time they used to call them INS, Immigration and Naturalization Service, that's how. They were terrible, they were nasty too, but not like the way those guys today are behaving. Masked, some of them in civilian clothes, their arrogance, their attitude, I did not notice that in those days. You know, some of them would get out of control, but the way we're watching it unfold on TV, it was not like that. So this, to me, intuitively, we are in a very dangerous period. Anything can happen. And let me tell you something else I read yesterday. from what I understand, there is an area in LA. It's a gang area. Guess what? Those CBP or ICE people are avoiding those areas. That's how brave those guys are. And to me, it's a sign of weakness. If they find themselves in a bad situation with some people from the military, because everyone right now, Trump and actually are trying to limit the military, or they're trying to exclude brown and black people from joining. If you notice the way they are erasing and demoting, firing, African Americans have not heard, and women, don't get me wrong, women as well. I'm sure Hispanics, okay. But let me give you an example. There is a clip, and you will see it on Twitter or on Blue Sky. Two young gentlemen, they are Hispanics. It seems like they were born here, but their mom, it seems like is still undocumented. Okay, they are probably Mexican. They accompanied their mom to for an interview at DHS. I don't know who conducts those interviews. You know, when you have to go every month or however often, I don't know. Guess what? They were not touched. She was not touched. And I thought it was amazing. I thought it was glorious. I like that. But the other people who had no one around them, you brutalized them. But intuitively, I feel those same people that you see wearing masks, don't be surprised. If things were to get where Fruitcake, Roberts, and the people at the Heritage Foundation wanted to get, Fruitcake will turn these people on us. And I'm not talking only about minorities, because if it were to get to that point, and it's a point of no return, but that's what they are working towards. That's why Fruitcake is deploying National Guards, sending the military out. He's testing it in California. He's going to try to do it all over the country and mostly the blue states. Okay. I hope it doesn't get there. And like I said yesterday, I got to be careful with time. Intuitively, I feel Obama, Clinton, Bush, among other leaders that are going to get together and do something. They're going to participate in keeping our country democratic. I hope that happens sooner rather than later. But this is where, intuitively, when I focus on Fruitcake, Roberts, that guy from OMB, Vought, Miller doesn't care about judges or anything, okay? He wants to finish. If you are not a white American, he wants you out of here. That's the Miller doctrine. And he's doing everything he can to make that happen. He doesn't care. Oh, in fact, I'm saying he doesn't care. I don't know how many of you heard the declaration or something he said, him and Norm, they said, regardless of the consequences, they are going to continue to arrest people and deport them. Yeah, right. Until they start crashing the economy. And it's coming. But let's hope it doesn't get there. But that's what they're planning. And Xi and Putin are more than ready to take advantage. And if we get there, we're going to lose our leadership in the world because China is going to take that spot. And it's going to be very hard. I don't see us getting the leadership, the mantle back. At least I won't be around, not in this generation. That's my prediction. I think I'm going to be right. Okay? But I have to warn you guys of potentially what can happen and what they are thinking. Okay, I'll answer some questions. I have Elon there. Elon is on the rope. And to what degree I feel he's going to lose Tesla. I don't know if I said that yesterday. And he's going to suffer some major financial setback. And the fruitcake is after him as well because fruitcake is angry. According to report, it seemed like he saw the report. I forget the name of that guy who abused young women, Epstein. Okay, it seems like Elon saw that report. It seems like that's what's getting fruitcake very angry, and he wants payback. But that guy too, Moneybag, is still angry too. So you may not hear very much about those two guys fighting because there are more important things going on. It's simmering in the background. And to believe that's what I feel. But there's going to be another major explosion between those two. And they're not too distant future. Let's see what happens. Somebody posted a question. Marinette says 2 weeks fruitcake is not trending. Oh, okay. No, somebody asked a question, it's Delagine. He's asking how many of you think that FC fruitcake is going to mess up with this war? You have a point. He is leaning on General Cracklin or something like that. This guy is a hawk. He wants to obliterate Iran. Okay. And you know who the others are. And Rubio is not bad to have in the team, but Fruitcake has 4 people around him. That Crackling or Cracker, whatever his name is, he's a general. Okay. The Nazi guy, Wiles, I think he's dumb as an nail. I tried to give her credit before, but she's just as bad as the rest of them, blinded by hatred and bigotry and racism. Okay. Her thing is delegate. Yeah. That was her expectation of X shit, among others, RFK and these people. And look what's happening. They all look like, well, for the mediocre, the DEI nominees or functionaries of public, how do you say that? They said fonctionnaire public in French, I'm trying to figure out. Public servant. Okay, that they are. It's a bunch of failures. Okay. So these are the people he has around him right now helping him make a decision on Iran. But I'm not seeing that happening. The news that Xi and Putin are sending him a message, back off, is part of his equation that he's facing before he makes a decision. But and also focusing on Iran, Europeans are trying all kind of diplomatic way to get Iran, to soften their stance and avoid a war. And also, I just heard this morning, according to reports, I'm not surprised, because if you watch all the Arab countries in the area, now they are busy with, beautiful things, Lamborghinis, Mercedes-Benz, the most expensive cars. They want to, be tech hubs, okay? And they're into crypto. I mean, that's why what they're interested in now. They no longer want to be like a long time ago, before, anymore, or support crazy people, want to run around the world and kill, They don't want to do that anymore. So that's a good thing, okay? And also they are negotiating peace with Israel. And according to a report I heard this morning, they are talking to Iran as well. Okay, so that's a good thing. And that's why I feel, I did not know exactly, whenever I said I don't see a war, at least not yet. But according to those reports, that's what I feel is going to keep, the Iran leadership. This is going to have an effect on their thinking. I know they're nuts, the mullahs. But who doesn't want to live in peace and drive Lambos, have beautiful home, and enjoy? Yeah. I mean, the Bible, whatever, the Quran is great too. Reading the Quran is great, but driving a Lambo while you're reading the Quran is perfect. And if your economy is doing well, it feels like to me those are the conversations that are taking place behind the scenes with Iran. Okay, I'm putting it to you in my Western way of saying things, but those things, it feels like to me, it's gonna help with Iran's thinking, the Europeans talking, and Fruitcake, okay, who has his hands full. He's not like, nobody likes him. So that's on his mind as well, because he's not doing well in his own country. He doesn't have support to start a war anywhere, and he's being told that. That's what's going to keep us safe. Let's keep our fingers crossed, my friend, but that's my prediction. Okay, Marilyn H., sorry if I went a little too long there, if I was a bit too long-winded. Okay, let's see. Francis Schwartz says, thank you for your work. If they had to work with local police who know gangs, exactly areas, there would not be so much blowback, exactly. It now seems this is a test to see how far they can go. Exactly, but they have a plan. Something I should make this better. Right now, those guys that they have, they're not going to go in the gang-infested areas. But they think at some point with the military, they can go anywhere they want. That's what Fruitcake is trying to do. That's what he's testing. But for some reason, I told you guys, I don't mean to scare anyone. I just want you guys to understand where this is going, okay? But I hope I'm right. It won't get to that point, because according to report, Republicans are surprised and concerned about the number of people who went out to protest this past weekend. Even like areas like New York City, it was raining like crazy. People went out still and protest, according to what I hear in New Jersey as well. People went out and protest. Philadelphia, people were in the streets, among other places. So Republicans are thinking twice. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay. I'm looking for questions because I'm gonna finish at 12:20 or 12:25, so I can get stuff ready. Jamaica Capital says fruitcake. What a name. It fits. Hi, Gene Rogers. There was something, somebody asked me a question, 1 second. Oh, well, this day's a little better news. There's a guy in the White House. He's the director of presidential personnel in charge of vetting Trump's team. He has yet to be vetted himself, having not submitted official paperwork about his own background needed for a permanent security clearance. Can you imagine this? The guy was born in Russia somewhere, okay? And I'm not being cynical. Fruitcake knew. Let's see what happens. Oh, there's one more definition of MAGA. And I saw it, Newsom posted it. MAGA stands for Miller Actually Governs America. And that's going to do a pretty good job on Fruitcake's mind, because he's not going to like that very much. I think somebody asked me a question. I'm looking for it. Okay. Somebody asked me, I think that's the question I wanted to answer. What happens if Trump attacks Iran without the approval of Congress? Republicans are in charge. So intuitively, not much. At least for now, until Congress changes hands, then that's a whole other story. Well, the problem is going to be us, the people, are going to go up and up. I mean, we're going to start asking questions. But I don't expect Republicans to do anything. That's what I mean, intuitively, that's what I feel. Exactly. Ajuman Mahal says we are being isolated. Yep. World leaders are meeting with Iran without us. Exactly. Well, I'm not surprised. I did not include Xi and Putin in I didn't see them. At that time, I was focusing on Canada, Mexico, and Europe, our friends. But let's not fool ourselves. Europeans know the emperor has no clothes. He doesn't know what he's doing. And they don't want the situation in the Middle East to go out of control. That's another reason why they're stepping in. Okay? They let Fruitcake, they give him control. He couldn't solve it. He's threatening bombing and all kind of stuff because that's all he knows. According to what I hear, he wants to be a war president. Instead of trying to do the right thing, but he wants to be like Bush, among other presidents, who were president while we were at war. He probably want to be like General MacArthur and Eisenhower and those type of people. Yeah, MacArthur, Eisenhower, all those guys were leaders for the Second World War, right? That's his fantasy. So let's see what happens. Well, I'll tell you, it's not happening. Okay? If that changes, I'll let you know, but right now, I don't see it. Deborah Felician says, Milu, if he doesn't have clearance, nothing he has done is legal. Wow. Well, Fruitcake is going to have a major problem on his hand, but chances are he's going to ignore it because he knows. Yogi Bear says, Milu, will the mask start to wear ID? There is, in the not too distant future, Fruitcake, Norm, Miller are going to face some major challenges. That's going to throw some major wrenches in their situation. okay, they may have to find new ways of doing things, like those people with masks. They will have to change because ICE and whoever else they have around them, it's getting to be very dangerous, and I'm telling you, it may get more dangerous. Let's see. Carrie says, Milo, do you see anything disastrous happening being blamed on Iranian? No. Not right now. And it feels like to me, after this, like I said, other Arab countries, they don't want to be playing around with ISIS and those people anymore. Okay? They want to finish, like with the Palestinian situation, Hamas and all that. They don't want that stuff anymore. That's what I feel intuitively when I focus on them. So they're going to convince, I don't know how this is going to happen, okay? But it feels like to me the plan is convince the mullahs, we can't continue like this anymore. We have to do something else or use another approach. That's what I feel. So it's going to be a tough decision for them to make, okay? But it's going to be, the thing I'm getting that's going to be hard for them to swallow is let bygone be bygone. That's what I'm getting. Okay. Marionette says, Milo, can you talk about other subject, other policies? I mean, that's why I said ask questions. Today's Friday. I said Q&A. So, and I'm answering you guys' questions. So, and I have to go in 2 minutes. Yeah, Haiku James says Dodger Stadium stood up to ICE yesterday. Oh, for sure. I was surprised. Okay. What happened? Okay, guys, let's not argue now. Let's, Derajin, thank you. Well, I simply haven't, Derajin says, Milo, I think we should make Friday a Q&A. Yeah, that was my intention for a while. But there's been so many things, and sometimes when I go and try to answer questions, it's difficult, sitting here. Sometimes I have trouble seeing the screen, and I can't differentiate between questions and you guys chatting with one another. That's another problem too. But yeah, if you guys, some of you know, if you put emojis and stuff like that, that will get my attention. But yeah, that's what I would like to do. Yogi Bear says, Milo, what's going on with Fruitcake's hands? Do you guys remember I told you, well, I think he's had a heart issue. I said that 6 years ago, 5 years ago, okay? And according to report, he's some kind of medication, okay? And if you look at his feet, the same thing. It seems like sometimes they are swollen, and that's what's happening with his hands, okay? Okay, friends, thank you very much, everyone, for spending time with me. Thank you, Chat Managers, for your help. I appreciate it. If anyone would like a reading from me, the link to my website is below the video, psychicmilo.com. Unfortunately, I have to go. And also, yes, Juman Mahal says diabetes too. Yeah, but I don't think he has diabetes. Yes, if you would like a reading from me, call me, text me, no problem. Please give me a thumbs up, and also if you are not a subscriber and you like the channel, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 50,000, and then I'm gonna get very ambitious. I'm gonna want 500,000 to reach 500,000. Okay, everyone. I'll see you all. Those of you who attend unless there is something major that happens, I'll come on. Okay. Otherwise, I'll see my usual Saturday evening crowd on the other channel. Thank you, everyone, again. I will see you tomorrow or Monday. Till then, bye.